Facebook is free to use. So how is it worth $100 billion? Let's look to Hollywood for an answer for that question. There's a great scene in The Social Network, the 2010 drama about Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, where Zuckerberg is given the following advice from one of his partners. Facebook is cool, and that's what it's got going for it. You don't want to ruin it with ads because ads aren't cool. In the film, Mark initially agrees. Ads on websites generally are not cool, but Facebook has ads. You've probably seen them before. They're on the right side of your screen whenever you log in. In fact, Facebook has had ads for a while, pretty much since 2007, back when it was still only available for users who were in college or high school. And in 2011, according to the information Facebook released for their upcoming initial public offering, 85% of the $3.7 billion that the company made came from advertising. They use a specific strategy called targeted advertising that involves creating customized ads specific to the interests of individual users based on the data that knowingly and unknowingly they provide. Now, granted, Facebook is hardly the first to use targeted advertising. Google's been doing it longer than Facebook has, catering ads to individual web users based on what they search for, as well as what they write about when using Google's email service. But Facebook's approach is unique because it serves as a social network in which users log in and often share an incredible amount of personal information about themselves. For example, in order to set up an account, first you are asked to include all sorts of private information like your age, where you live, your phone number, what you do for a living, favorite TV shows, moving bands, and so on and so forth. And that's just the beginning. Once you start actively using Facebook by, posting photos and liking things, the amount of data adds up quickly, much faster than you might expect. Think about it. Let's say you post on your wall that you're going to dinner at an expensive Spanish tapas restaurant in the Mission. Well, now Facebook knows where you like to hang out, what type of food you like to eat, and even how much you might be willing to consider spending on food. All that just from one wall post. There's actually a law student from Austria named Max Schrems who went to court with Facebook to see in real life all of the information it had gathered on him. Basically, he wanted a paper trail of his Facebook activity, and he got it. All 1,222 pages of it. And this is a guy who claims to only use the site about once a week. In recent years, Facebook has even figured out how to gather data on people when they're not even on the website itself. You know all those like buttons that you see pretty much everywhere on the internet? Yeah, well, if you click on one of those, even if you're not on Facebook, Facebook gets data about you. And then there's Facebook Connect, which has been around since late 2008, that allows you to log into other websites using your Facebook account. For example, there's Spotify, the music sharing service. Well, if you log into Spotify through Facebook, well, guess what? Facebook collects the data about what you do and listen to on Spotify. With all of the like buttons on the internet and how many websites are using Facebook Connect, and the mere fact that there are 800 million registered users with Facebook, it's pretty clear that the company is gathering a staggering amount of data. And that's where targeted advertising comes into play. Advertisers want access to this data so that they can interact with consumers and appeal to them in a more personal and effective way. Imagine you owned a maternity clothing company. Wouldn't it be really nice if you could show ads only to pregnant women? In their information to advertisers, Facebook makes their objective pretty clear. People treat Facebook as an authentic part of their lives, so you can be sure that you are connecting with real people with real interest in your products. There's even an official Facebook YouTube video that shows how to easily set up an ad to cater to a specific audience. Advertisers can pick geographic locations, age ranges, and even hone in on specific user interests. This is why it's pretty common to see ads on the side of your Facebook window that seem suspiciously relevant to your life. To test all this out, I created a Facebook profile for an 18-year-old male living in San Francisco. At first, there was nothing. He has no friends. He didn't like anything. So Facebook knew nothing about him except his age and location. But then I went in and liked a few popular TV shows and bands like Glee and OK Go. I also liked the San Francisco Giants. After liking 3 TV shows, 3 bands, and a sports team, I went back to the wall on Facebook, and there was already an advertisement on the right side for an art school in San Francisco. Seems pretty fitting given the age, location, and stated interests. And that's what you call a targeted ad. Facebook also gives advertisers access to other friends that are part of each user's social network in an effort to make their ads that much more appealing. So a targeted ad will pop up in your Facebook profile, one that based on your interests you're probably going to like anyway. But the ad will also show which of your friends have gone out of the way to like that product. I've blurred out the names here, but a product generally seems much cooler if your cool friends already like it. In short, Facebook is making a lot of money, not by charging fees, but by selling ads that use the data collected as a result of being part of Facebook in the first place. It is a social network, after all, where people act socially. But who would have thought that the digital social lives of people would be worth $100 billion? Now, there is a way for you to personally control how much information Facebook can gather on you and share with advertisers. It's all under the privacy settings. Over the last few years, Facebook has had some pretty bad publicity for changing their privacy settings without really letting people have a choice. And there was a lot of angry response with people unhappy at how much Facebook knows about us and then shares about us. So when you go into your Facebook privacy settings, as I did for the fake account that I created, you'll see that the default setting is to share everything with everyone. Anything you post will be publicly available to anyone who wants to see it. This is the default setting. In order to change it and make your account less public, you need to go in and tinker out with your settings, which used to be really confusing, but has actually gotten a lot less confusing because of how many people have complained about it. So what we've got here is a company that's probably worth about $100 billion, and they're making 85% of their money off of targeted ads. Does this make their ads cool? Probably not. At least not yet. But with Facebook's IPO looming, don't be surprised to see some pretty substantial advancements in its advertising approach.